in the art of mudra. So, very effective. So, to love is to cooperate, that's the title of the lesson. And now we're going to give Prabhupada the last word on the importance of cooperation. And, let's see. Let's listen once more to Srila Prabhupada expressing his, what I call his Mahavakya, his great utterance, that we cooperate to spread Krishna consciousness. So it's Mayapur, I think it's March 16, 1976. And Prabhupada's giving darshan to all the Radha Damodar book distributor brahmacharis. You know, that roadshow bus, Vishnujan Swami traveled in it for some years. Then it burned to the ground. And only he and the books and the deities escaped. And there's a picture, and you were seeing a picture. I think it was somewhere in the southwest, Arizona. And then he got another bus, and then when Tamal Krishna Maharaj came to America, they teamed up, old friends, and they formed what to this day is still the biggest book distribution party ever America's ever seen. And then all these men came to Mayapur and to the Lotus building, to Prabhupada's rooms, and Prabhupada was having darshan, and it's very powerful what Prabhupada is saying about the importance of cooperation. Unfortunately, there's a buzz. It's an annoying buzz, but you'll be able to read it too on the recording. So, we're ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please, God himself, Krishna himself, he felt alone unable to do this stuff. You are cooperating, therefore I am getting the grace. Otherwise I don't operate it. Prabhupada himself wanted our cooperation. He is God, Krishna. Then cooperation is very important. Nobody thinks that I have got so great ability. I can know. This is very cooperation, you can do spreading. United stands divided in four. Sankirtan means many men combined together, chant. That is Sankirtan. That is Kirtan. Many combined together. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mission.
So that's how important it is. It's Prabhupada's, Mahavakya, his great utterance. By the end of the lesson, students will be able to explain why love means to cooperate in devotional service, explain why serving Krishna is not utopia, explain how to find unity in diversity, explain what it means to associate with like-minded devotees, and describe the quality of like-minded devotees that most enables their cooperation to serve and please the Lord. Tomorrow night, Friday night. Before we look at different ways to access and develop our individual loving relationship with Srila Prabhupada, in the next lesson we'll identify and dispel some unconscious misconceptions we may have about him. This is a different kind of lesson. It's kind of an exorcism where we cast out demons of impersonal misconceptions, sentimental misconceptions we may have about Srila Prabhupada. And for that, I've chosen a couple of shadowy images of Prabhupada. You wonder, is that really Prabhupada? Okay, I'm going to sit down. That was the lesson. I didn't present it. I presented it without an exercise. It could have gotten pretty intense if we had tried to do an exercise, maybe gone too late, and trying to understand. what are universal principles, what are adjustable details. You can do an exercise and get lost in that one. And the easy part is choosing an issue. It's choosing an issue that tends to divide devotees. I mean, just practically name anything. We won't get into that. But we got some time for question and answer. And so, any questions?
It's not a question, but I just thought it was nice that you gave this full course about cooperation, because sometimes he just said Prabhupada wanted us to cooperate, but he actually had a specific thing he wanted us to cooperate around, or about, namely to maintain this institution.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we have a problem when we hear the word institution sometimes, right? And when people would complain to Prabhupada about that, Prabhupada would say things like, oh, Govinda's institution is also Govinda. But that is the challenge of an institution, because as soon as unless you have an institution or organization, you can't get much done. But as soon as you do, then people get attached to position and power, and it has to be curbed. So that's the eternal dilemma of being part of an institution. It's an austerity. It's an austerity to participate in something organized, because there's always going to be some fault, right? As Prabhupada said. But Krishna is the center of it, so it's a glorious endeavor, even if there's, imperfections.
It's just a small comment. It's back in the 4th canto, I think there was a big yagya going on. Maybe it was the Daksha yagya, finally being properly done. And Prabhupada mentions that there were many Brahmins. Some of them were chanting mantras, some of them were reading the scriptures, and some of them were arguing about the conclusions of the Shastra. And then Prabhupada says, in this way there were transcendental vibration going on everywhere. So he said even by the arguing that, he considered that to be transcendental.
Yeah, so, when we disagree, I mean, there are parameters, of course. I mean, sometimes, in some places, Prabhupada says, sometimes demons take birth and they infiltrate the Hare Krishna movement, right? So it's not that anything goes in the name of diversity, but we at least have to give ourselves the benefit of the doubt that we're all striving to serve Srila Prabhupada and his movement, and not just because I disagree with you, that doesn't mean I should demonize you. You're a demon, or you don't know Prabhupada, or you're ruining the movement, or you're ruining Varnashram, or, this is not Prabhupada. Well, maybe it isn't, but maybe if I'm the only one that thinks like that, maybe I should, think before I say that. Maybe I shouldn't think that I know better than everybody else, in the Hare Krishna movement. So, that's a challenge to find unity in person.
Can we take it? I mean, we know there are many contentious issues in ISKCON like that. You're going to touch on some tomorrow, I think. Can we take it that actually there are transcendental disagreements, all of them, as also possible there are not so transcendental?
Yeah, well, it depends. If people have other motives, and if those weeds overtake the people, they always come out in time. If somebody's really, going to do the movement harm, Krishna has his way of removing the person. Like if my desires become so materialistic, Krishna will reassign me. He will take me out, one way or the other. That has been shown time and time and time again. But the more we're all really absorbed in Prabhupada's life teachings, movement, and mission, the quicker we can catch these things, and not people don't have to suffer so much. Sometimes these things go on for a long time, and then people they really suffer. So, you want to say something more about that?
How do we recognize what is what?
As regards
Gaura and I, we have a strong disagreement. So is it transcendental or are we just? Oh, yeah, it's just, don't.
This is hypothetical, of course, but I'm just playing the devil's advocate, Prabhu. Sometimes we say that, we really are voicing our doubts, so that's all right. Prabhupada, you know Prabhupada's ultimate test of something? What did he say? It's a Bengali saying. Phalena parachidate. You have to judge a thing by its result. What's the outcome of me pursuing this policy or this line of action? You know, we have to see. Sometimes you don't know until, as Prabhupada didn't know necessarily when he let the roadshow and the Ngagri Trust Party go on. He let us do it, and then when it became unfavorable, then he stopped it. Although in principle nothing wrong. So you have to judge a thing by its result. Yes.
Can I say something
Let's hear it.
private actually? I don't know if you are sending on the television or radio. Last time, 2-3 days ago, I brought a book because I found it on the library free. I could take a book, and it was about a guru, another guru somewhere. I don't know his name, and you know, these Indian names always get very difficult to express, and they all sound the same when you are Danish and normal. And then I thought maybe I could ask someone here about this book. What is this about? What kind of book is it? Who? Why? And Prabhupada was pictured in this book 2 or 3 times, and there was another guy, and he was very, very handsome, and I could say, oh, he's not really my kind of guy, but I brought it, and I arrived, and I put it on the desk, and forgot all about it, because I thought someone will maybe ask, what is this? But when I left, I asked, where is it? And very panicked, we found it, and I took it back home. But then I thought, maybe I did something very, prohibited.
Very what?
Prohibited.
Prohibited.
Yes,
Forbidden.
forbidden. And I actually feel that way. I did something, yes. Not
So you found a book in the library and you wondered if it was compatible with Krishna consciousness.
Yes,
Prabhupada.
it was
So you brought it to the
Indian,
to find
orange
out.
clothes, flowers, and I have a girlfriend actually who was going to some course in this, and I understand it's called Kriya Yoga, if you heard about it, and I thought it was about fighting for peace and love, but it's something different, I don't know what it is.
Kriya Yoga, Prabhupada says,
But this is-
it's a kind of bhakti for mystic yogis, Prabhupada says in Nectar Devotion.
And I heard on the radio all about this disciple, the real ones, you know. But this is only a way to tell you how it feels to be somebody not initiated, and on a level of interest and learning to know more, and not being at danger somehow.
Well, the devotees, if we're fortunate, the devotees will help us understand our foundational spiritual master's life, teachings, mood, and mission. And then when we get really absorbed in Prabhupada's life, teachings, mood, and mission, then we're able to see what's really compatible with Krishna consciousness through Prabhupada's eyes. He's the lens through whom we see all teachers and teachings. But you have to get to know Prabhupada first. So please do that.
But there are pictures, nice pictures. Maybe somebody could find them interesting. I could cut it out of the book and
There's so many
throw the book
books.
away.
There are so many websites, there's so many books. But get to know Prabhupada through his books and his spoken word first, and then you won't be confused. Because there's unlimited stuff out there. But we can't be like tourists. We have to be serious candidates. Okay. Anyway, maybe I think tomorrow night's lesson might help you. Fictional Prabhupadas. Sentimental and impersonal Prabhupadas. Okay, thank you for that.
I just want to confess that I found this book at the Sunday feast on the desk over in the shop, and I couldn't identify it, and it wasn't one of ours. So I put it aside because I was thinking because it's not one we sell, and I didn't know, so I just put it away. So
Oh, that was the book?
yeah,
Okay.
so
So is that all about it?
that's
Is that all?
That's why I removed it, because I couldn't identify it. I didn't know if it was our philosophy. And this is like a shop where people, they can come and buy books. So I was thinking someone will come and look, and then they say, hey, what is this? But it's not something that we sell. So therefore I put it away.
But maybe you had a meeting and did you
No.
see that very different?
We don't live in a vacuum. We don't live in a vacuum. It's not that we don't hear and see anything. We live in the world. So we're going to hear and see so many things. But if we want to be protected, we should hear and see everything through Prabhupada's eyes. That's all. It's very simple. But you have to know Prabhupada to understand that. The more you get to know him, his life, teachings, mood, and mission, then you won't feel, deprived or restricted. You'll feel enlightened and freed, because anything that you can come in contact with in this world, we can understand through the medium of Prabhupada's spoken and written word. And you just try that. Just try that. So, okay.
Thank you for the presentation. I think this concept, this subject is extremely important. Different things come in my mind, but I try to find how to express it. I try. How it is that sometimes we are good in sparking interest in Krishna consciousness, but it seems it's difficult to develop it in a blooming thing amongst members, that they come forward and they say, I'm going to commit, tell me how to do it.
Good at introducing, but not so good at cultivating?
Yeah, we're sparking with the book distribution, with the Harinam, people coming, but then the follow-up is a tough thing, especially I see in the West.
Yeah, because
In India, we're able to bring people
it's
fast.
like planting a seed is one thing, but then it takes time and effort to cultivate that plant. Planting a seed, in one sense, book distribution is very challenging, as anybody who's tried to do it knows. But without follow-up, it's kind of like the easy thing, planting a seed. But then the real work is in cultivating the plant. And we have to do that, So, therefore, when you read Vaisheshika Prabhu's book, Our Family Business, it's all about that. It's all about planting the seed, and you put the card in every book, right, so they can have somebody to contact if they want to know more, so that you cultivate the seeds and the plants and the creepers, and then you'll see some fruit. Otherwise, if you're just scattering seeds all the time, and you never, of course people aren't coming, because you're not following up. It's like common sense. But it takes effort. It takes effort, and we tend to be lazy. Mandaksu manda mateo. Manda bhagya. And we're content that we've got so many books out, and our names in the Sankirtan newsletter, and so many book points, but it's not about that. It's about bringing people to Krishna, bringing ourselves to Krishna. And perhaps it pleases Lord Chaitanya. So, more?
Yeah. Just so I heard that I see sometimes senior devotees who are a long time around, they have studied the books black and blue. But
Black and blue?
yeah, that's my expression.
That sounds painful.
But I still sometimes, while seeing them moving together, we don't feel too much the attachment to each other. And it really disturbs me sometimes. Okay, we come together, we come in the hall together, but the pitch is not there between different senior levels, and then when new people come, they don't feel that absolute thick love, which I suppose after 25 years should be there. And
This has
I wonder.
this has always been haunting this kind. Right in Radha Vilas, Tom and Mark, that's Tamal Krishna, Tom became Tamal Krishna, and Mark became Vishnu Jana. So they're coming around. They came out of Morning Star Ranch, out of the trees. They came to LA, and or San Francisco actually. And so they were chanting and they were hearing Prabhupada. And then they wanted to join. But then somebody who had just left the company of devotees, it was a lady actually, she heard they wanted to join and she came up to them and said, "Don't join. There's no love there. Don't join." So you know what Mark said? "I know. I want to change that." And although you never met Vishnu Jana Maharaj, that's why we all loved him, because he really had heart. He really had heart. So yeah, we have to, it's not enough to know so much. It's really all about connecting. Prabhupada says in Nectar of Instruction that he created ISKCON to facilitate those 6 loving exchanges. That's why he created ISKCON. So we could exchange confidential thoughts, prasad, and gifts. Dadati Pratigrinati. Yeah, so if we don't do that enough, that's our fault. It's not Prabhupada's intentions, or it's not the way it is because Prabhupada ran ISKCON like the army. It's as if the military was disciplined. It doesn't mean the same as the military. The military is based on envy, fear, hatred, and demonizing the enemy and all this stuff. But no, it's supposed to be based on love and trust. But then sometimes we become cynical about that. Yeah, that's right, love and trust. Love money and trust no one. So then sometimes you have to put a new face on it. Love and trust, let's call it devotee care. Yeah, I could be for that. I could be for devotee care. That sounds cool. So, yeah, we have to be the change we want to see. And you say, I got disturbed sometimes. Well, I have to do it. I can't just point the finger because they're coming right back at me. I have to do that. So that's Prabhupada's challenge. Okay, any other? Yeah, if we did an exercise, then we really would have gotten into it. We'd be here at 11 o'clock at night. But that's the easy part of taking an issue. You just finding an issue. There's so many issues. There's so many. It's just you think of anything. There's a controversy about it.
We get exhausted just by thinking about all these issues.
Yes. The real issue is why don't I love Krishna and the devotees? Why? Okay. Any more?
Yeah, one.
Oh, that wasn't a question, Prabhu. That was a comment.
You have a question? I have a question.
Okay.
It's on my heart. I have to say.
All right.
Because sometimes, in different places I've seen there are issues and then there has to be dealt with, there has to be made decisions, but still it might be not satisfying because you don't feel the actual concern for the person. So
You don't feel what? Action?
there has to be make sanctions sometimes when issues come up, when
There has to be a decision, you're saying.
about issues are coming up.
I'm not going to get between you and Prabhu. He's the president here. Nice try.
No, not like that, not like that. It's a general thing which happens everywhere. It's a general thing.
You're right. Everywhere I go, it's the same thing. Prabhu, I gotta bring this up to you. No, I'm not going there. I'm not coming in between you and management, I'm sorry. I don't know you, you don't know me. I'm gonna give you general guidelines. You run with it, you do what you want with this seminar. If only to sit together and study Prabhupada's life.
Yeah.
You can just do that. Anyway, I'm sorry, go ahead. Is that it? Did I shoot you down?
No.
I have to be the change I want to see in this con, that's all. That's why I'm doing this seminar. I saw my students so distant from Prabhupada. Oh my God. No matter how much I was talking about Vani and Bapu and serving in separation, they just kept looking at me like, oh, you're so lucky, you saw Prabhupada. We're so unlucky, we never saw him. Woe is us, we were born too late. Come on. I know so many devotees in this movement who are so much closer to Prabhupada than I am, and they're so much younger than me because they're more advanced. They're so sincere. And here I am maintaining material attachments, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. Where's my spinach soup, Prabhu? That was a good lunch today, thank you. Yes?
I have a question, because you were mentioning dialectic in the course today. So seen from a dialectic point of view, if we take that point of view, isn't it then so, my question is it then so awful that we have these disagreements about philosophical matters? Because it actually makes us more sharp on the philosophy.
That's what it says right in CC. Siddhanta, what's the verse? Siddhanta, Bali. One should not avoid controversial subjects. It makes the mind stronger. It makes can somebody find this? Siddhanta. It's a really important verse. It's just what you said. But it makes us stronger when we can talk about it in terms of the great souls who have discussed these points in the Shastra. The Guru Prasada of the Shastra. If we just start, throwing speculation at each other, then we don't get anywhere. It's just a big mess.
Do you remember where?
It starts with Siddhanta.
Okay, yes.
That's the first word.
I mean, a lot is going to come up with Siddhanta.
That's probably going to be a million hits. Or the word controversy is in the verse. Yes, it's important we discuss these things properly.
Yeah.
Any more than that, Siddhanta? And
I think the next word starts with a B, like Baliye, it strengthens, but I'm not sure.
translation, that's right, I understand.
Huh?
Translation, just some strengthen.
I think it's like it starts with a pronoun. One should not avoid, but I'm not positive. It's vague. It's one of those. It's too vague for me to pin it down.
Nice. I need some more.
You need more.
I mean, it's very famous. I know that.
Yeah. I forget the context even. You know.
Krishna's Kairas is discussing. Oh yeah, now I remember. It's some say about Lord Chaitanya that he is Kshirodakasaya Vishnu. Some say that he is incarnation of Narayan. Some say it like that. So there's a discussion like that, and then he says one should not avoid these discussions, consider them too controversial because they strengthen the mind. Or something. I mean that, but that's a context.
Yeah.
And where does he discuss that? It's in the Adi Lila, and.
That's in the Adi Lila?
It's Adi Lila, definitely.
Okay.
But, I don't remember the chapter right now.
Mm. Yeah, so...
One of the first chapters.
I was avoiding a discussion of the controversial topics. It's just that there's not really scope to do that in this time frame. But I tried to give some tools on how to approach these